In Vertex G4, it's possible to create patterns using added features or paths. In this video, you'll learn how to make feature patterns. You can create either linear or polar pattern, and we'll start by creating a linear feature pattern. The first feature has already been located. Select Cutout from the feature tree and Feature Pattern from the context-sensitive menu. Select Linear and default location. Next, give the number of features and either length or delta, which means the distance between each feature. In the same way, you can add a pattern to width direction as well. After you have placed a sketch, you can edit dimensions and add constraints. Let's add a feature pattern on top of existing rises. You can easily do this by selecting Location to Face from Feature Pattern and selecting the face of the rise. Now the new pattern gets the same properties as the original pattern. You can do the same by holding down the Control button and selecting the feature and the pattern from the feature tree and selecting Add Feature to Pattern. Third way to place a pattern is to place it in the sketching state using constraints. Delete the distance constraint and attach auxiliary geometry to the path. Next, you'll learn how to make polar patterns. Polar pattern is created in quite the same way as linear pattern. Select a feature from the feature tree and feature pattern from the context-sensitive menu. Select polar, give the number of features and the pattern's angle. If you want to have features equally placed along the whole circle, type 360 degrees to the angle, and if you want them to be along half circle, type 180 degrees. If you don't add polar pattern to the whole circle, it's important to select direction to be clockwise or counterclockwise. Radius doesn't affect the actual pattern's radius, but it is the radius of auxiliary geometry. The actual radius is the distance from the pattern's center to the original feature. You should place the pattern by using constraints. Usually, this is easily done if you place the pattern to the center of the original feature. You can rotate the sketch by using the tools on the upper left corner. If you select No Rotation, all features have the same absolute orientation. If you don't select it, all features twist so that they have the same orientation with respect to the center point. You can also add a polar feature pattern to a curved surface in the same way as to a flat surface. If you have added copies of the feature when you added it, you can choose if you want to add patterns to the copies as well. Select Pattern Copies To, and the program adds a pattern to the original feature and the copies as well. If you don't select it, the program adds a pattern only to the original feature. After you have selected a feature pattern, you can delete a selected feature by selecting Delete Part of Pattern. If you select Delete Pattern, everything but the original feature is deleted. If you select Delete Feature, the whole pattern and the original feature are deleted. If you edit the pattern, there's a field where there are all deleted features. You can also delete features by adding their column and row to the field. You can restore deleted features simply by removing all text from that field. You can edit the pattern, for example, by giving new number of features or length. Changes are updated to the model when you press OK. If you know the center of a symmetric pattern, You should place the first feature to that center point and create a pattern after that. Add selection to symmetric, and features are placed symmetrically according to the first feature. Note that the location of the auxiliary geometry doesn't affect the location of the pattern. The direction of the auxiliary geometry does instead affect the pattern. You should place the auxiliary geometry in the center of the original feature. If the number of the features is even, the original feature moves so that the center of the original feature's original place remains the center of the symmetric pattern.